The great meeting hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with worried voices. Thousands of beings from across the galaxy sat in their floating chairs, their different shapes and colors making the room look like a rainbow of life. Some had tentacles instead of arms. Others glowed with soft light. A few looked like walking trees with eyes. At the center of the hall, a large screen showed images that made everyone afraid. The images came from a small blue planet on the edge of the galaxy. The planet was called Earth, and the creatures living there called themselves humans. Admiral Zeftar stood before the screen. His crystal body caught the light and threw rainbow patterns on the walls. He was from the crystalline hegemony, one of the oldest and most peaceful races in the galaxy. His people had not fought a war in over 10,000 years. "Look at these terrible images," Zeftar said, pointing at the screen with one of his sharp crystal fingers. "These humans are clearly a race of warriors. They love fighting and violence." The screen showed humans hitting each other in a ring while thousands of others watched and cheered. The beings in the hall gasped in fear. The images changed to show humans with weapons shooting and exploding things. More gasps filled the room. "They train their young ones to fight," Zeftar continued. The screen now showed human children playing games where they pretended to shoot each other. Even their smallest ones know about war. A tall blue being with 4 arms raised one hand. This was Council Member Thixal from the Peaceful Towers. "Are you sure these images are real, Admiral? Perhaps they are some kind of art or story?" Zeftar's crystal body flashed red with anger. "Our best minds have studied these signals for months. The humans send these images into space like they are proud of them. They want other worlds to see how strong and violent they are." The screen changed again. Now it showed humans in metal suits carrying big weapons. They marched in straight lines like soldiers. Then it showed flying machines that looked like they were made for war. "They have armies," Zeftar said. "They have war machines. They study battle like other races study music or art. Every day they practice fighting. Every day they get better at killing." An old being that looked like a large flower spoke up. Her voice was soft like wind through leaves. "But Admiral, we have watched them for only a short time. Maybe we do not understand everything about them." "Time is something we do not have," Zeftar replied. "Our science teams say the humans will have ships that can travel between stars very soon. Maybe in 10 years, maybe in 20. When they do, they will bring their wars to us." The flower being wilted a little. "What do you think we should do?" Zeftar's crystal body grew brighter. "We must stop them before they can leave their world. We must attack them first while they are still trapped on their planet. It is the only way to keep the galaxy safe." Many voices started talking at once. Some beings were scared. Others were confused. The Galactic Council had been peaceful for so long that most of them had never even thought about war. "But we are peaceful people," said another council member. "We do not attack others. We try to talk and make friends." "You cannot talk to mad dogs," Zeftar said. "You cannot make friends with creatures that only understand fighting. Look at their images again. Do you see any art? Do you see any beautiful things? All they care about is war." The truth was that the images the aliens saw were not complete. The signals from Earth were mixed up and broken. The aliens only saw parts of human life, not the whole picture. They saw football games but thought they were real battles. They saw action movies but thought they were training videos. They saw soldiers but did not see the hospitals those soldiers protected. The humans on Earth had been trying to send peaceful messages to space for many years. They sent music and pictures of their children playing. They sent information about their science and art. But these signals were weak and got lost in space. Only the strong signals from their entertainment and news reached the aliens. And without understanding what they really meant, the aliens thought humans were monsters. "I have seen enough," Zeftar announced. "The humans are too dangerous to let live. We must gather our fleets and destroy them before they can hurt anyone else." The Great Hall became very quiet. No one wanted to make this choice, but they were all scared. They thought about their own children and families. They thought about their peaceful worlds full of art and music and love. They could not let the terrible humans destroy all of that. One by one, the council members voted. The large flower being voted yes with tears in her eyes. The blue being with 4 arms voted yes while shaking. Even the youngest members, who had never seen war, voted yes because they were afraid. When all the votes were counted, the decision was clear. The Galactic Council would attack Earth. "Admiral Zeftar," the lead council member said, "we give you command of the largest fleet in galactic history. Take ships from every world. Take enough weapons to destroy the human world completely. Do whatever you must do to keep the galaxy safe. Zeftar bowed his crystal head. I will not let you down. The humans will never hurt anyone again. As the council meeting ended, beings floated away to their ships and homes. They would go back to their families and tell them that war was coming. For the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy would fight. None of them knew they had made a terrible mistake. None of them understood that the humans they feared were actually kind and gentle people, who only wanted to be friends. The signals they had seen were just small pieces of human life, taken out of their proper place and time. Soon, the largest war fleet in galactic history would fly toward a small blue planet. They would come to destroy what they thought was a race of monsters. But they would find something very different waiting for them. The humans of Earth had no idea what was coming their way. Captain Sarah Chen floated in the bridge of her patrol ship, the Earth defense vessel Harmony. She was checking the daily reports when her communications officer suddenly sat up straight. Captain, I'm getting something strange on long-range sensors, Lieutenant Park said. His face was pale. There are a lot of ships coming toward us. A lot of ships. Sarah moved to his station and looked at the screen. What she saw made her heart stop. Hundreds of dots were moving toward Earth's solar system. Then thousands. The computer kept counting and the number kept growing. That's impossible, Sarah whispered. There are too many to count. The Earth Defense Force only had 30 ships guarding the outer edge of the solar system. Most of them were old patrol boats like the Harmony. They were built to watch for asteroids and help lost cargo ships, not to fight wars. Send a message to Earth Command, Sarah ordered. Tell them we have unknown ships approaching. Lots of them. Within minutes, every human ship in the outer system received the same message. Unknown fleet approaching. All ships move to defensive positions. Prepare for possible first contact. Sarah felt her stomach twist with worry and excitement. For 50 years, humans had been hoping to meet other intelligent life. They had sent radio signals and space probes looking for friends among the stars. Now it looked like someone had finally come to visit. But something felt wrong. Why were there so many ships? Why didn't they send a message first? The alien fleet came closer. Sarah could see them clearly now on her screen. The ships were beautiful but scary. They glowed with strange lights and had shapes that looked like nothing humans had ever built. Some looked like flying crystals. Others looked like metal flowers or swimming fish made of light. Captain, Lieutenant Park said, I'm trying to send them a welcome message, but they're not responding. Sarah nodded. Keep trying. Use every language and signal type we have. Math, music, pictures. Anything that might show them we want to be friends. The alien ships kept coming. They moved into a battle formation around Earth's solar system. Sarah had studied military history, and she knew what she was seeing. These ships were not here to talk. Admiral Zeftar stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the small human ships move into position. He had expected to see a huge fleet of warships ready for battle. Instead, he saw only a few dozen small vessels that looked more like cargo ships than fighters. Are these all the ships they have? He asked his tactical officer. Our scans show more ships near their home planet and the red planet they call Mars, the officer replied. But most of those appear to be civilian vessels. Cargo ships and passenger transports. Zeftar was confused. Where was the great human war fleet? Where were the terrible weapons they had seen in the Earth signals? Perhaps this is a trick, he said. Maybe they are hiding their real ship somewhere else. The first shots came without warning. Green beams of energy shot out from the alien fleet toward the human patrol ships. Sarah watched in horror as the EDF vessel Peacekeeper exploded in a ball of fire. All ships, Sarah shouted into her radio. We are under attack. Repeat, we are under attack. The human ships scattered like frightened birds. They were not built for fighting, and their weapons were small and weak compared to the alien guns. But the human crews did not run away. Instead, they moved between the alien fleet and Earth, forming a thin line of protection. Captain Chen, came a voice over the radio. It was Admiral Rodriguez from Earth Command. Fall back to the inner system. Help protect the evacuation ships. Sarah looked at her screen and saw dozens of civilian ships launching from Earth and Mars. Passenger ships, cargo haulers, even private pleasure boats were carrying people away from the fighting. Families with children, old people, anyone who could not fight. You heard the Admiral, Sarah told her crew. We're not here to win a war. We're here to give those people time to get away. The Harmony turned toward Earth and flew as fast as it could. Behind them, the alien fleet followed like a wave of destruction. Other human ships joined them, forming a protective circle around the fleeing civilians. Sarah's weapons officer, a young man named Tommy, looked scared. "Captain, why are they attacking us? We never did anything to them." "I don't know," Sarah said, "but maybe we can still fix this." She opened a communication channel on all frequencies. She knew the aliens might not understand her words, but maybe they would understand her tone. "Unknown ships. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force. We do not want to fight you. We do not know why you are attacking us, but we are willing to talk. Please stop shooting and tell us what we did wrong. We just want to understand." For a moment, the alien guns stopped firing. On the bridge of the alien flagship, Admiral Zeftar listened to the human's words. Her voice sounded sad and confused, not angry and warlike. "Admiral," his communications officer said, "the human captain sounds like she really doesn't know why we're here." Zeftar's crystal body flickered with doubt. "It must be another trick. Humans are clever and they lie to confuse their enemies." The alien guns started firing again. More human ships exploded. But the remaining ships did not run away. They stayed between the aliens and the civilian evacuation ships, even though they knew they would probably die. Sarah's ship shook as alien weapons hit its shields. Smoke filled the bridge and several of her crew were hurt. But she kept flying, kept protecting the ships behind her. "Captain," Tommy said, "our weapons are no good against them. We can't win this fight." "We're not trying to win," Sarah replied. "We're trying to save lives." The battle lasted for 3 hours. When it was over, most of the human defense ships were destroyed. But the evacuation ships had made it safely to the outer planets and hidden asteroid bases. Sarah's ship was badly damaged and drifting in space. Half her crew was hurt and the engines were dead. Through her broken windows, she could see the alien fleet moving toward Earth like a cloud of angry stars. "This is Captain Chen," she said into her radio, hoping someone could still hear her. "The outer defense line has fallen. The aliens are heading for Earth, but the evacuation ships got away. Repeat, the civilians are safe." As alien ships surrounded her damaged vessel, Sarah wondered what would happen next. Why had these beings come so far just to attack people they had never met? What had humans done to make them so angry? She didn't know that the aliens were just as confused as she was. They had expected to fight monsters, but the humans they met seemed more interested in protecting others than in winning battles. The real war was just beginning, but already both sides were starting to wonder if they understood what they were fighting for. The alien fleet hung in space around Earth like a metal storm cloud. For 3 days they had been scanning the planet and preparing for invasion. Admiral Zeftar expected to find a world covered in military bases and weapons factories. Instead, his sensors showed him something that made no sense. "Show me the scan results again," Zeftar ordered his science officer. The holographic display lit up with images of Earth. Instead of fortresses and barracks, Zeftar saw cities full of parks and gardens. Instead of weapons plants, he saw schools where small humans learned to read and paint pictures. Instead of training grounds for warriors, he saw hospitals where humans helped sick people get better. "Are you certain these readings are correct?" Zeftar asked. "Yes, Admiral," the science officer replied. "We have scanned the planet many times. Most of the large buildings are for education, medical care, or entertainment. We can find very few military targets." Zeftar's crystal body dimmed with confusion. "This must be another human trick. They are hiding their real weapons underground or in space." But deep in his mind, a small voice whispered that maybe something was wrong. Maybe the Council had made a mistake. On Earth, people watched the alien ships through telescopes and cameras. The news showed pictures of the strange, beautiful vessels that filled the sky. Some humans were afraid, but others were excited. Even now, with an alien fleet above their heads, many humans hoped this would be the beginning of friendship with other worlds. Dr. Elena Vasquez stood in the Emergency Command Center under Geneva. She was the head of Earth's diplomatic corps, and she had spent her whole life preparing for this moment. But she had always imagined it would be different. She had dreamed of peaceful meetings and shared knowledge, not battles and fear. "Have we been able to contact them yet?" she asked her communications team. "We've tried everything," replied Dr. Kim, her chief translator. "Mathematical sequences, pictorial languages, even musical patterns. They're not responding to any of our signals." "Keep trying," Elena said. "There has to be a reason they're here. Maybe we can still work this out." Above them, the first alien landing ships broke through Earth's atmosphere. They looked like falling stars as they streaked toward the ground. Earth's remaining military forces took defensive positions around major cities, but they were badly outnumbered. The aliens landed in 12 different places around the world. Zeftar himself led the largest group, which came down in what humans called Central Park in New York City. As his crystal feet touched Earth soil for the first time, he expected to see human warriors rushing to attack him. Instead, he saw humans running away. Not in military formation, but in panic. Parents carried children. Old people helped each other walk. No one was shooting at the aliens. They just wanted to get to safety. Secure the area, Zeftar ordered his troops. Watch for human ambushes. The alien soldiers spread out through the park. They were ready for battle, but all they found were empty playgrounds and benches where humans had been feeding birds. One young alien soldier approached Zeftar, looking confused. "Admiral," the soldier said, "we found some humans hiding in one of their buildings. But they are not soldiers. They appear to be healers caring for injured humans." "Healers?" Zeftar asked. "Show me." The soldier led him to a small building near the park. Inside, Zeftar saw human doctors and nurses taking care of people who had been hurt during the first attack. The humans looked afraid when they saw the aliens, but they did not stop working. Dr. Sarah Martinez looked up from the patient she was treating when the alien commander entered. His crystal body was tall and sharp, and his eyes glowed like blue stars. She was terrified, but she had work to do. "Please," she said, not knowing if the alien could understand her. "These people are hurt. Let me help them." Zeftar watched as the human female continued to bandage a wounded man's arm. Her hands were gentle and her voice was soft as she spoke to the injured person. This was not how warriors behaved. "Admiral," another soldier reported, "we have secured the large building to the east. It appears to be some kind of learning center for young humans." Zeftar followed his soldiers to the Natural History Museum. Inside, he found something that shocked him even more. The walls were covered with pictures and displays showing the history of life on Earth. There were models of ancient animals, paintings of beautiful landscapes, and exhibits about protecting nature. "Look at this, Admiral," one soldier said. He was standing in front of a display about extinct species. "The humans seem sad that these creatures are gone. They have built monuments to animals that died out long ago." Zeftar studied the display. It talked about how humans were working to save endangered species and protect the environment. It showed pictures of humans planting trees and cleaning polluted rivers. These did not look like the actions of violent conquerors. The fighting continued in other parts of the city, but it was not the kind of battle Zeftar had expected. Human soldiers fought bravely, but they seemed more interested in protecting civilians than in attacking aliens. When alien troops were wounded, some human medics even tried to help them before being ordered away by their commanders. Commander Singh of the Indian Defense Forces crouched behind a destroyed car as alien. Energy weapons lit up the street around him. His squad was down to 5 men, and they were almost out of ammunition. But they could not retreat. Behind them was a school where 300 children were hiding. "Sir," said Private Johnson, "we can't hold them much longer." Singh nodded. "Then we die here. Those kids don't deserve this." As the alien soldiers advanced, Singh stood up and walked toward them with his hands raised. He was not surrendering. He was trying to talk. "Wait," he shouted. "Please wait. There are children in that building. Little ones. They can't hurt you." The alien soldiers stopped shooting. Their leader, a being that looked like a walking tree made of metal, tilted its head to one side. "You protect your young ones?" the alien asked in broken English. "Of course," Singh replied. "They're just kids. They don't even understand what's happening." The metal tree alien spoke to its soldiers in a language Singh could not understand. Then it turned back to him. "We will not harm the small ones," it said. "You may take them to safety." Singh could hardly believe what he was hearing. "Thank you," he said. "Thank you so much." As human teachers led the frightened children out of the school and away from the fighting, the alien soldiers watched quietly. Some of the children stared at the strange beings with wonder rather than fear. One little girl even waved goodbye as she passed. Reports like this came from battlefields all over Earth. Alien commanders found human art galleries instead of weapons depots. They discovered libraries full of books instead of military plans. They saw humans sharing food with refugees instead of building bigger armies. Late that night, Zeftar stood on the roof of a tall building looking out over the city. Fires burned in some places where the fighting had been worst, but much of the city looked peaceful. Humans moved through the streets helping injured people and cleaning up damage. Admiral, his second-in-command, approached. We have secured most of the major population centers, but I must report something strange. What is it? Zeftar asked. Our troops have found many human facilities that our intelligence said were military targets, but they are not what we expected. The weapons laboratories appear to be food production centers. The training camps are schools for human children. The command bunkers are hospitals and shelters for civilians. Zeftar's crystal body flickered with doubt. Perhaps the humans are very good at hiding their true nature. Perhaps, his officer agreed. But Admiral, I have fought in many battles. These humans do not fight like conquerors. They fight like people protecting their families. As Zeftar looked out over the human city, he began to wonder if the Galactic Council had sent him to destroy the wrong enemy. The humans below seemed so much like his own people. They cared for their children, they created beautiful things, and they helped each other in times of trouble. But orders were orders. The Council had decided that humans were dangerous and Zeftar was a soldier. He would complete his mission, even if he was starting to have doubts about whether it was right. Tomorrow, the real invasion would begin. Soon, he would have his answers about what humans really were. Velani had always been good with computers and communication systems. As a young officer in the Galactic Fleet's Communications Division, she spent most of her time monitoring signals and making sure messages got through to the right places. She never expected her skills would change the course of history. It was her third day orbiting Earth when she discovered something that made her tentacles turn pale with shock. Computer, play back the original human transmissions that started this war, she said to her workstation. The screen lit up with the same images that had terrified the Galactic Council. Humans fighting in rings while crowds cheered. Humans with weapons destroying buildings. Human children playing war games. But Velani noticed something the Council experts had missed. The signals were incomplete. Parts were missing and the timing was all wrong. It was like listening to music with half the notes taken out. Computer, are there any other human signals from the same time periods? Scanning, the computer replied. Yes, multiple additional transmissions detected. Previous analysis filtered these out as unimportant. Show me everything. Don't filter anything. What Velani saw next made her heart stop beating. The computer showed her the complete human transmissions, not just the pieces that had reached the Council. The humans fighting in the ring were not real warriors. They were actors performing for entertainment. The weapons and explosions were not real. They were pretend. Violence from something humans called movies. The children were not training for war. They were playing games with toy guns that shot harmless lights, but there was more. So much more. The computer showed her music, beautiful, complex sounds that spoke of joy and sadness and hope. It showed her paintings of Earth's natural wonders. It showed her videos of humans helping animals, building homes for poor people, and reaching out their hands to help strangers. Computer, translate the text in these transmissions. Words began appearing on her screen. Human words full of curiosity and kindness. Hello, anyone out there. We are the people of Earth. We come in peace and friendship. We dream of meeting other intelligent life and sharing knowledge. We offer our art, our music, our science to anyone who will be our friends. Please, if you can hear this, we want to learn about you and show you the best of what we are. Velani's tentacles shook as she read message after message. The humans had been trying to contact other worlds for decades, not to threaten or conquer, but to make friends. Computer, why were these signals filtered out of the original analysis? These transmissions were classified as low-priority civilian communications. Military and entertainment signals were prioritized as more likely to reveal the true nature of the species. But these signals show the true nature of humans, Velani whispered to herself. They show that humans are exactly like us. She worked through the night, building a complete picture of human civilization. She found scientific papers where humans shared their discoveries freely with everyone. She found recordings of human music that was so beautiful it made her cry. She found videos of human doctors working in dangerous places to help sick people they had never met. The more she learned, the more horrified she became. The Galactic Council had declared war on the wrong species. They had attacked people who only wanted to be friends. I have to tell Admiral Zeftar, she said. But as she gathered her evidence, alarms began ringing throughout the ship. The final assault on Earth was beginning. Down on Earth's surface, Captain Sarah Chen sat in an alien prison cell. Her ship had been captured after the first battle, and she had been brought to Admiral Zeftar's command center for questioning. The cell was not cruel or painful. It was clean and comfortable, with a bed and food that was actually quite good. Even as prisoners, the aliens were treating humans better than the humans had expected. Sarah could hear fighting in the distance. Earth's last defenders were making their final stand against the alien invasion. She knew they could not win, but she was proud of them for trying. The door to her cell opened and Admiral Zeftar entered. Up close, his crystal body was even more impressive than she had imagined. Light moved through him like water, creating patterns that were almost hypnotic. "I want to ask you something," Zeftar said in careful English. "Why do your people fight so strangely?" Sarah looked up at him with confusion. "What do you mean?" "Your soldiers. They do not fight like warriors. They fight like people protecting something precious. Why?" "Because that's what we are doing," Sarah replied. "We're protecting our families, our children, our home. Why else would anyone fight?" Zeftar was quiet for a long moment. "My people were told that humans are conquerors, that you love war and violence, that you would spread across the galaxy and destroy peaceful worlds." Sarah laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Is that what you think? That we're some kind of monsters? I do not know what to think anymore," Zeftar admitted. "Nothing on your world is what I expected to find." "What did you expect?" "Weapons factories, military academies, training grounds for armies. Instead, I find schools where children learn to read, hospitals where you heal the sick, museums where you preserve beautiful things." Sarah stood up and walked to the cell door. "Admiral, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Humans are not perfect. We have wars sometimes and we make mistakes. But most of us, most of the time, just want to live in peace. We want to take care of our families, create beautiful things, and learn about the universe. When we first started sending signals into space, we were hoping to find friends. People like you who could teach us new things and share in the wonder of existence." Zeftar's crystal body dimmed. "If this is true, then we have made a terrible mistake." Before Sarah could reply, the cell door burst open. A young alien with tentacles rushed in, carrying a portable computer. "Admiral Zeftar," Velani gasped. "You must see this immediately. I have discovered the truth about the human transmissions." Zeftar turned to face his communications officer. "Velani, what are you doing here? You should be at your post." "Admiral, the human signals we received were incomplete. The Council only saw part of what humans were really saying. Look at this." Velani activated her computer and holographic images filled the cell. She showed Zeftar the real human transmissions, the offers of friendship, the beautiful art, the scientific discoveries shared freely with anyone who might be listening. "The fighting we saw was not real," Velani explained. "It was entertainment, like the plays our people perform on Crystalla Prime. The weapons were fake, made for stories. The children were playing games, not training for war." She showed him more images. Humans rescuing animals from floods. Humans building homes for strangers. Humans sending medical supplies to distant countries where people were suffering. "Look at this message, Admiral," Velani said. "It was sent just 3 years ago." A hologram appeared showing an elderly human man with kind eyes. He spoke directly to the camera. "To anyone listening among the stars, we are a young species and we have much to learn. We have made many mistakes in our past, but we are trying to grow and become better. We offer our friendship to any beings who might hear this message. We have art and music and stories to share. We have questions about the universe that we hope to explore together. We have love in our hearts for all forms of life. Please, if you are out there, come and meet us in peace." Zeftar watched the message 3 times. Each time his crystal body grew dimmer as the truth sank in. "We have attacked innocent people," he whispered. "We have destroyed their ships and invaded their world, and they only wanted to be our friends." Sarah had been listening to everything with growing amazement. "You mean your people attacked us because of a misunderstanding? You thought we were evil because you only saw part of our transmissions?" "It appears so," Zeftar said. His voice was heavy with shame. "The Galactic Council made a decision based on incomplete information. We have committed a terrible crime against your people." Explosions echoed through the ship as Earth's defenders continued their hopeless fight outside. Sarah grabbed the bars of her cell. "Then stop this," she pleaded. "Call off the attack. It's not too late to fix this." Zeftar looked at her, then at Velani. then at the holographic images of human kindness floating around them. "You are right," he said. "This war must end immediately." Admiral Zeftar's voice boomed across all communication channels of the Galactic Fleet. "All units cease fire immediately." "Repeat, all units cease fire. This is Admiral Zeftar with Priority Alpha orders. The war is over." On ships throughout the fleet, alien commanders stopped their attacks mid-battle. Energy weapons powered down. Landing craft stopped moving toward their targets. For the first time in 4 days, the skies above Earth grew quiet, but the damage was already done. Parts of Earth's major cities lay in ruins. Thousands of humans had died defending their home. The orbital defense stations were destroyed, and many ships would never fly again. In his command center, Zeftar worked frantically to contact his ground forces. "All ground commanders, report to me immediately. Bring any human prisoners you have captured and treat them with respect. They are not our enemies." Within an hour, alien officers from around the world gathered in Zeftar's ship through holographic communication. Each one looked confused and troubled. "Admiral," said Commander Thrix from the European front, "my troops are asking questions. We were told these humans were dangerous warriors, but they fight only to protect others. Even when we captured their soldiers, they asked us not to hurt civilians." "I know," Zeftar replied. "I have discovered that we were given false information about the humans. They are not the monsters we thought they were." He shared Villani's findings with all his commanders. As they watched the real human transmissions, their expressions changed from confusion to horror to deep shame. "What have we done?" whispered Commander Kala from the Pacific Fleet. "These people were trying to make friends with us." "We have made a terrible mistake," Zeftar said. "But now we must try to fix it." Captain Sarah Chen was brought to the main conference room along with other captured human officers. She walked in expecting more questions or perhaps her execution. Instead, she found Admiral Zeftar and his staff standing in respectful silence. "Captain Chen," Zeftar said, "I owe you and your people an apology that no words can truly express. We have attacked you based on a misunderstanding. The Galactic Council believed humans were a violent, conquering species. We now know this was wrong." Sarah stared at him in disbelief. "A misunderstanding? Thousands of people are dead because of a misunderstanding?" "Yes," Zeftar replied simply, "and the shame of that will stay with us forever." He gestured to the holographic display which now showed the complete human transmissions that Villani had discovered. "These are the messages your people sent to space. Messages of friendship and hope that we never saw. The Council only received fragments of your signals, entertainment programs and fictional stories that we mistook for real violence." Colonel Martinez, another captured officer, stepped forward. "So you attacked us because you saw our movies and thought they were real?" "In simple terms, yes," Zeftar admitted. "We saw what you call action films and sports competitions and believed they showed your true nature. We did not understand that humans create fictional stories for entertainment." Sarah felt anger rising in her chest. But then she saw something in Zeftar's crystalline features that stopped her. He looked genuinely heartbroken by what had happened. "What happens now?" she asked. "Now," Zeftar said, "we try to make amends for our terrible error. First, I want to return you and all other prisoners to your people immediately. Second, I want to offer our medical technology to help heal those we have wounded. Third, I want to help rebuild what we have destroyed." "Just like that?" Colonel Martinez asked. "You invade our world, kill our people, and now you want to be friends?" "No," Zeftar replied. "I do not expect friendship. I do not deserve it. But I hope that someday perhaps your children or their children might forgive us for what we have done to you." Sarah looked around the room at the alien officers. She could see the genuine remorse in their faces, even though they looked nothing like humans. These beings had made a horrible mistake, but they were trying to make it right. "Admiral," she said slowly, "before this war started, did your people know about forgiveness?" "Forgiveness?" Zeftar asked. "I am not familiar with this concept. It means choosing not to hate someone who has wronged you. It means trying to understand why they did what they did, and giving them a chance to be better." Zeftar's crystal body flickered with interest. "Your people practice this. Forgiveness?" "Some of us try to," Sarah said. "It's not always easy. But we believe that hatred only creates more hatred. Forgiveness can stop the cycle." "Captain Chen," Zeftar said carefully, "are you saying you might forgive us for what we have done?" Sarah was quiet for a long moment. She thought about her destroyed ship and her dead crew members. She thought about the cities in ruins and the families torn apart by this senseless war. The anger was still there, burning in her chest like a small fire. But she also thought about what her grandmother had taught her years ago. Hatred is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I don't know if I can forgive you yet, Sarah said honestly, but I'm willing to try, and I think that's where we have to start. Over the next few days, something unprecedented happened. The Galactic Fleet began working alongside human survivors to help repair the damage they had caused. Alien medical technology, far more advanced than anything humans had, was used to heal the wounded. Alien construction crews helped rebuild destroyed buildings. Dr. Elena Vasquez, who had survived the bombing of the Geneva Command Center, found herself working next to alien scientists to coordinate relief efforts. She watched in amazement as beings from across the galaxy shared their knowledge and resources freely. This is what I always dreamed first contact would be like, she told Velani as they planned the distribution of medical supplies. I am sorry it took a war for us to understand each other, Velani replied, but perhaps good can still come from our terrible mistake. Word of the truth spread throughout the Galactic Fleet and then back to the homeworlds. The revelation that the Council had attacked an innocent species based on incomplete information sent shockwaves across the galaxy. Some alien species were angry at their leaders for starting an unjust war. Others were amazed by humanity's willingness to work with their former enemies. Everyone was impressed by the concept of forgiveness that humans practiced. 3 weeks after the ceasefire, Admiral Zeftar stood with Captain Sarah Chen on the observation deck of his flagship. Below them, Earth was healing. The scars of war were still visible, but new buildings were rising where old ones had fallen. Captain, Zeftar said, I have received word from the Galactic Council. They want to offer Earth full membership in our alliance. They also want to establish new protocols to prevent misunderstandings like this from ever happening again. Sarah nodded. That's a good start. But Admiral, I need you to understand something. Humans are not perfect. We have conflicts among ourselves sometimes. We make mistakes and we can be selfish or foolish. But we try to learn from our errors and become better. That sounds very wise, Zeftar replied. We're willing to join your council and share our knowledge, Sarah continued. But we want to do it as equals, not as subjects. And we want to make sure that every species has a voice in decisions that affect them. The council has already agreed to these terms, Zeftar said. In fact, they have asked if you would be willing to serve as the first human ambassador to the Galactic Alliance. Sarah smiled for the first time since the war began. I'd be honored. As they watched the sun set over Earth, both human and alien could see a new future taking shape. It was not the future anyone had expected, born as it was from tragedy and misunderstanding. But it was a future built on truth, forgiveness, and the hope that different species could learn to understand each other. The galaxy had declared war on humanity, without knowing humans had been kind all along. But from that darkness a new light had emerged, the light of friendship between the stars, and the understanding that peace was always possible for those brave enough to choose it. Years later, when children from 100 different worlds learned about this story in their schools, they would remember it as the war that ended with forgiveness, and the beginning of the greatest alliance the galaxy had ever known.